Hello, YouTube. We are back for the attack on Captain Arrow. And you might be saying to yourself, did Jerry the Jitterbug do clickbait again, saying that I effed up on the book? The answer is no. I did F up on the book, and I did make a mistake, but it was a valuable mistake that I will not do again. And it actually is a wonderful learning experience. Before we talk about that, I want to talk about the inner wraps. Now, from the last upload with me gluing the spine in various places of the inner pages, I removed the glue because I wanted to release the first wrap and a few other wraps. And the reason why I wanted to do it, and I don't know if you can tell, but I worked about a few hours on this first wrap since the last upload. I was unhappy with the way the first wrap was looking in relation to the Tengojo paper that was on the side and in different areas. And I was a little unhappy with the leaf casting. So what I did with the book was I removed the first wrap, I flattened it out, and I reinforced the spine from the interior using Tengojo paper. And I also reinforced certain areas using mulberry. So this is mulberry right here. And I also modified the color of the leaf casting to blend better with the wrap. So you might be asking, how did I modify the actual leaf casting color? The way I modified it was by using good old, right here, tea. Now, in my opinion, the tea is not paint. It can be washed out. So what I do is I use Lipton tea, and I use 2 tea bags, and I've done this in the past with other things such as mulberry paper. But now what I did is I actually used the tea with a brush, and when the wrap was flat, I paint the areas in question with the tea and the leaf casted areas. And I gently paint all of the new paper with the leaf casting with the tea when the actual wrap is wet, so it blends better with the original paper. In addition, when I did use Tengojo paper, I dyed the Tengojo paper with the tea as well, which I feel that it makes a lot better product. I also installed the staple holes, and I did this off camera, and believe me, there's things that are done off camera because it's just a tremendous amount of work, and sometimes I have to really get into it in order to get the job done. So how I did the staple holes was I put the whole book and I hung it on my dowel, and I used a drill. And the drill that I used is my power drill. This is a good drill if anyone's looking for one. It's very strong. And I used a very small drill bit, the smallest one that I had. And I slowly drilled the hole, drilled the other hole, and it made a perfect hole, 2 holes right down to the centerfold. And it's really working out well with the holes, and I'll have no problem installing the staple. So let's stop talking and let's get to the point. The problem that I have is I miscalculated the width of the book once all the leaf casting was done. When I did the cover, I measured the interior pages flat, and I added about 1/8 of an inch onto the cover in order to wrap it over the inner wraps. The problem is when you leaf cast it, there is thickness that gets onto the book. No matter how you do it, no matter how you try to make it as thin as possible, thickness is added. So when I put the cover on, I was off maybe about 1/8 of an inch where you would see the interior of the book once the cover was on. So what is the rule that I learned? The rule that I learned is, if I'm going to do an interior in a whole book like this one, I'm going to do the interior wraps first and find out what the thickness is going to be when I'm done with it. Then when I'm done with it, this is a garment ruler. It's a soft ruler that people use when they do stitching or when you sew things or do garments. And this is a nice ruler that I can use to measure the actual length of the book. So we're going to put it over here just like that, the one end of the ruler. And then I am going to measure, and this book is about 14 inches, 14 3/4 inches right there. So I know the cover has to be 14 3/4 inches wide, plus I'm going to put about 1/8 of an inch because it's not something that I want to do twice. I can always trim the leaf casting. So now, how am I going to leaf cast the cover again? I have it right here. And I took the liberty off camera to remove the leaf casting from the center of the book. So I am going to measure the cover once again, and we're going to get it precisely to the way I want it with the width. And then we are going to leaf cast the interior of the cover once again. And then this bad boy will cover beautifully the whole interior. I don't want to see any type of interior poking out. I want this to be as best of a job as I can do it. So in the future, when I do the interior first, I will have the measurements because I did the interior first. So, guys, this is Thanksgiving weekend. I'm sort of caught up with all my uploads. I don't have any stored away. So when this premieres, it's going to be Monday, the week of Thanksgiving. So I'm going to cut this one off right now. And then hopefully on Wednesday or the day after Thanksgiving, we will have the leaf casting episode. And then after the leaf casting, it's time to put this bad boy back together. And we're going to send it off to Mr. Night Tiger. So again, guys, this was just a lot of information in this upload. Not a lot of action. I hope you enjoyed it, but it was necessary for me to explain what path we're taking to go forward from now on until the end of this journey. Hopefully everyone has a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I'm glad you stopped by. So stay tuned, and we'll see you soon.